Hey, how you doing? Just a heads up that this is chapter 3 of the audiobook version of my book, Conversational Relationship Marketing. So make sure that you go through these chapters in order so it all starts making sense. Because if you've got here and this is the first thing that you're coming on, it might not make an awful lot of sense. So make sure you go back, or if you don't want to listen to the audiobook, please feel free to go and listen to some of the amazing interviews that I've done on the podcast. Golden rule number 3. A compelling offer is 10 times more effective than a convincing argument. Out of all the golden rules, this is the one that has the potential to blow up your business. Yet when this golden rule isn't followed, it's why so much marketing doesn't work. It's another fundamental that many gloss over, or they totally misunderstand, and it's why the majority of marketing is created from the perspective of the business. See, when marketing is done this way, you're effectively trying to convince people why your business is the best, putting all the reasons why you should be chosen out into the world, like you're arguing a case in court, or you're maybe clashing with your other half about who should take the bins out, right? And that's a little bit of an insight into a recurring argument in the King's house. Anyway, but this all misses one key thing, right? The client. See, rather than trying to convince or argue your case, I took the bins out last time, it's your turn. What you want to do is actually compel them by offering something of equal or greater value in exchange. For example, if I offer to load the dishwasher, would you take the bins out? Okay, maybe that one doesn't work particularly well either, but you know what I mean. Now, I'm going to say something pretty bold here. Growing a business is actually pretty simple when you break it down into its fundamental parts. Now, that doesn't mean it's easy, but breaking it down does help you focus on the things that will actually move the needle. Now, to grow a business, you need paying clients, not just a service, right? Building a business, it's really about discovering an outcome or result that your ideal client wants, needs, or desires, creating a mechanism, and that could be in the form of a product or a service, to deliver that result, and then offering it to them. In fact, if your clients are being honest, they'll tell you that they don't actually care that much about your service, only that it helps them get what they want, because all they want is the result. So to generate leads and clients, you need to stop trying to sell services. Instead, you need to identify just 2 things. The specific ideal client that you want to serve, and that's why we spent so much effort and time in Golden Rule, in the previous Golden Rule, trying to define this, and a specific result that they desire. Because it's only after you know this that you can develop an offer with the promise to deliver this result, build or improve the mechanism, the service or product, which will best work to deliver that result, so you can offer it in a way that your ideal client is the most excited about. And look, this is a great thing to know, because by looking at your business through this lens, you'll start to see that there are tons of ways that you could work to provide the result your client desires. It means there's tons of potential profitable new or improved service ideas that you could implement in your business. You just need to sail out onto the ocean and discover them. So even if you're not looking for new service ideas, you'll still need to discover the most compelling offer that will entice your ideal clients into having a conversation with you about your existing services. This whole process is one big voyage of discovery. Remember, I have this entire concept rooted at the heart of my business. See, for me, think like a fish, it reminds me daily about the importance of understanding my clients, their desires, challenges, and needs. And this simple concept, it ensures that I never run out of ways to come up with ideas of how to help them, as I put my clients at the heart of my thinking and my business. It is a totally win-win. And over the last 17 odd years that I've refined what it means to discover what it is that your ideal client wants, and more importantly, how to do it. Now, the answer will shock you because of how simple it is. You just ask them. You see, I told you it was simple. Now look, if you were hoping for something different or some kind of magic bullet, then honestly, I'm sorry to disappoint you. It just doesn't work like that. Because to generate revenue and growth, you need to stop looking for hacks or shortcuts. You need to go and find out exactly what result your ideal clients want the most right now, or what problem they're facing, which will also point towards the result they want, and it's why we often try to discover these first. And then you want to also understand or hear how they describe it. Because knowing this allows you to craft the single piece of marketing that matters more than anything else you'll create, as everything hinges on this. And that is your compelling offer. You need to be making relevant offers to solve a problem you know a specific type of buyer has. And you need to be making these often if you want to consistently grow your business. Because if you don't offer someone something, they can't buy it. Sounds simple. Again, it is. But if your offer is for something that your ideal client doesn't want, or it's communicated in the wrong way at the wrong time, or it's confusing, you're essentially dead in the water before you start. Now, I call this your dynamite offer. And the analogy that I use here to help sort of bring this to life is like you're going fishing with dynamite, hence the name. Essentially, what you're doing is you're throwing out an offer into the marketplace to cause an explosion of interest among your ideal prospects so that the very best ones rise to the surface fast. And you engage in more serious sales conversations, not just talking to tire kickers. Though, as I say, this is another example of a crude analogy. Remember, we operate a catch and release policy throughout your marketing. So I guess I just like to think that these are pretty hardy fish and you're just stunning them, not killing them, so they rise to the surface. Again, the analogy falls down a little bit, but hey, there we go. So what is a dynamite offer? See, I define it like this. It's a results-focused promise to solve a specific problem that attracts interested buyers into your pipeline. What it isn't, it's not a pitch. It's not a discount, a special deal, or a promotion. It's not where you ask for the sale, and it's not your service. That's just what you do. It's the asset that you use to find prospects that are interested in taking the next step to find out how you help solve a challenge that they have or achieving an outcome that they desire. It's one that causes them to say, I'd be interested in that. Tell me a bit more. And that's why you need to validate your offer first. I want you to do something for me as well now. From now on, make yourself a promise that you won't create any other forms of marketing until you validate your offer. Until you have this, you could end up wasting a whole lot of time and money pushing an offer that just isn't validated, only to find nobody wants it. Now, believe me, I know. I've learned this the hard way. See, doing things in this order, it's a great way to test and validate your offer, dial in the message that attracts your ideal buyers and not just tire kickers who aren't serious, and get this out into the marketplace quickly. And that's all without having the worry of spending a whole bunch of time and money on creating all the other marketing elements and assets required to scale. And that's what a lot of people do. And they do all of that only to find that it bombs. And again, I have been there. Because most people do it the opposite way round. It's why they spend days, weeks, months, or even years banging their head against the wall trying to figure out how to make this bloody marketing thing work, right? And very often, it's simply because they never did this part first. So how to craft your dynamite offer. Again, I've got links in the actual written version of the book, in the action steps at the end of this golden rule, which you can get at thinklikeafish.co.uk/free book. And remember, there's no opt-in to get any of this, so make sure that you've got that copy with you, and it comes with all the very detailed instructions on how to do this, because it is really step by step and I guide you through it. But for now, I'll give you a quick summary with just a few examples. Because essentially, your dynamite offer, it needs to have three key elements. The first is it should have the result that you are promising, and it must be clear and concise. 2, it should be understood by your ideal client in just 1 or 2 sentences. And 3, the only response an ideal client should have after seeing your dynamite offer is a yes or a no. Now, there's a number of ways that you can format your dynamite offer, but here's a few that I found that work really well. So option number 1 is the "Are you interested in" format. So it goes a little bit like this. So are you interested in seeing your solution that gets this result? So an example of this could be, are you interested in seeing how we just helped our cybersecurity client generate 23 highly qualified sales appointments this month without paying for advertising? So that's the "Are you interested in?" Option 2 is the "Right now we're helping" format. So this goes like, right now we're helping ideal client to get this result. Would you like to see how we could help you potentially do the same? So an example of how that would actually work in a real life example is, right now we're helping national car dealers to shift their entire sales process online and trade their entire team in just 4 weeks. Would you like to see how we can help you potentially do the same? Option number 3 is the "If I offered you to" framework. If I offered to get result, would you be open to? So for example, if I offered to work directly with you to create and implement a custom growth strategy for your business designed to increase top line revenue by 25 to 45% in 6 to 12 months, would you be open to discussing how it works? Now, there's much more details in the workbooks that are in the action steps of this. So again, make sure you go and get the written copy of the book. I feel like I've just given out the URL 100 times now and you're probably getting bored of it if you've already got it, but this is just in case people haven't. But hopefully this helps you show it gives you a rough idea of what a Dynamite offer will look like. And for a real deep dive into the actual power of offers, I highly recommend that you listen to the episode of the Client Catching podcast with what I can only describe as the master of offers himself, Joel Irway. Now, he uses something called the power offer, and for complete transparency, where I've been sort of using the Dynamite offer for a while, and I've developed many formats over the years myself, option number 3, that's one that I've learned directly from him. So thank you, Joel, for that format, because it is incredibly effective. So all I can suggest now is sort of thinking, right, it's your turn, over to you. So the action steps for this golden rule: go and grab the Dynamite offer workbook. Again, make sure you get your written copy so that you can get all of this at thinklikeafish.co.uk/free book. Now, once you've got this inside, you're going to be doing a little bit of a brainstorming around your Dynamite offer. And then you're going to go and ask 5 to 10 existing or past clients, or find a few potential perfect clients and ask them a few simple questions. And then what you're going to do is you're going to validate, or you're going to disprove, your hypothesis that you've come up with in your brainstorming around your Dynamite offer. And by the way, just going through this, up to this point in the process, it's not unheard of to get a new client or two at this stage, right? But it's not a guarantee. I'm just sort of saying that is something that, as I've taken people through this, it is something that happens. Because then after this, once you've validated it, and you will look to craft your Dynamite offer, and then finally, you'll be promoting it and begin reeling in new clients. So that's it for golden rule number 3. Let's move on to golden rule number 4. Thank you ever so much for listening today. I know there's a lot of podcasts out there you could be listening to. You've chosen this one, and for that I am truly, truly grateful. If you're a first-time listener or a long-time listener and you haven't yet subscribed to the show, please make sure that you do, because you'll get updated of the latest episodes every time they come out. And if, again, you are enjoying it, I'd really, really appreciate a honest rating review on Apple Podcasts. I read every single one personally, and they do really mean the world to me. And yes, they help others find the show. If you're able to do that, again, I massively, massively appreciate it. But until next time, happy fishing.